I don't always agree with everything that Dave has to say over at X22, but I'm going to tell you what. He's got a great site over there, and he really does have some great guests. And most of the time, he's right on the mark, you know. And just in the last couple of days, he's had a guest on called Lynette Zhang. And she gave a very important interview. And she talked about an awful lot of things, but one of the things she talked about was Bitcoin. And what she thinks about Bitcoin. Now, another notable personality that probably a lot of you have heard of around the cryptocurrency space and the gold and silver space is Jeff Berwick. And he's done an interview over at Finance and Liberty. And it's probably worth checking out his interview too. And it's talking about a very similar subject to what Lynette Zhang is talking about. Now, they both have two little bit different opinions on about the origins of Bitcoin, but they both agree that Bitcoin's going to be big. And I agree, Bitcoin's going to be really big. Lynette Zhang, though, she's opened my eyes to a few things, I must say, listening to her interview about Bitcoin and the gold and silver. A few very important things that she's opened my eyes to. But I'm going to talk about right now. But here's the thing. Getting back to these two interviews and their differing opinions. Jeff Berwick, he tends to think that Satoshi Nakamoto, when he was working on his white paper and so on, was legitimately a well, this is my opinion on it. My opinion on it, and from my take, and what I've seen with Jeff Berwick saying, that his opinion is that it's all on the up and up. That Satoshi Nakamoto and the white paper and everything were against capitalism. They were against the central banks, and they wanted us to have monetary freedom when they invented Bitcoin. And that's the take I got on it, anyway. Where Lynette Zhang, her opinion is a little bit different. Her opinion goes along with what I believe, is that the deep state and the central banks were responsible for the creation of Bitcoin. And, of course, now when I was listening to Lynette Zhang's interview, she was talking about, they asked her the specific question, how, if it is the deep state putting the cryptocurrencies out there, and they were the actual inventors of this technology, and they have it as a mechanism for control of the masses, how would it be that they would ever do that? Because to all extensive purposes, looking at this thing right now, it looks like it's designed to give us freedom from the deep state, freedom from bankers, freedom to be able to hold our own money, and each and every Bitcoin wallet that's on the internet is like having a Swiss bank account. So how would that benefit the deep state and benefit the central bankers? And she thought about that for a minute, and she was trying to put together answers to that question. And I was sitting on the sidelines saying, I know how, I know how, I know how, you know? But she couldn't hear me. You know? I know how, though. Really. It's very simple. When the time comes, and they get everybody used to using these, they're going to say that it's a problem. That it's facilitating black market trade, it's facilitating drug use, it's facilitating money laundering, on and on and on. And of course, they're going to come up with the solution to all of this. They're going to offer us. They're going to offer us bans, try to conquer Bitcoin, knock the price down, or we can take door number B, which is going to be the simplest solution that they're going to offer us. And they're thinking pretty sure that we're all going to take it, because we probably will. They might offer some sort of incentives too as well. The offer is going to be simply, we the government are going to keep a database of the Bitcoin ledger, basically like a full node, with all the transactions from the very beginning. And all of you people out there that want to use this cryptocurrency now have to register. All users have to register. And if you want to know how to register, it's going to be very simple. You can do it online at any government site that'll be open. The government's going to open sites up for you to register, so that you can be an official user of cryptocurrency. Right? And when you register, all you're going to do is you're going to be assigned a Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency wallet address registered with the government. And the second thing is you're not going to be able to go in and take any wallet address to send a transaction like you used to be able to. You're going to have to use that assigned wallet address. Otherwise, the government's going to come after you. And if you use the assigned wallet address that they give you, in fact, everybody will just want to do it because they don't want to face the severe penalty of not doing it. For what reason would you not do it? Well, I mean, why would you, when the government does this and they say, okay, it's going to be perfectly legit, all you have to do is register with us and we'll assign you a wallet address, and you use that wallet address. I mean, people aren't going to argue about that. It's going to be easy. You're just going to use the wallet address they give you. Because there's going to be a severe penalty for using any old wallet address. First off, they'll track you down. Because immediately when that wallet address goes through their database in their computer, because they're going to be a throughput. They're going to put a throughput in where all the addresses are going to have to go through their database to go into the main database. And if you go through that throughput with a wallet address that's not recognized, it's immediately going to put flags up on their computer, and they're going to go out and going to find you. They're going to track that down, find you. And they're going to throw you in jail for using an unassigned wallet address. Simple as that. And your registered wallet address, you'll be able to use it as much as you want. And who's going to complain? I mean, that's just it's not like they're asking something that's really all that complicated. And they're going to give you a good reason why they want to do this, to stop money laundering and to stop drug use and to stop crime and all this kind of stuff. I mean, the citizens are not going to argue about that. And they do have a point. They have a point. Right? It's going to be what makes Bitcoin legit when they do this. You see what I mean? So once they get Bitcoin to be legit like that, then they've got all your wallet addresses on a data file. Just think what they can do. There will be no more avoiding taxes anymore. No more tax evasion anymore. No more. The government will always get all their taxes from now on in because they got all your transactions on their database, man. They know where you're sending the money. If you buy a stick of bubble gum in Minnesota, they'll be able to tell you what hour you bought it, what second you bought it, and how much bubble gum you bought, and who you bought it from. They can track every transaction right to you, right to your wallet address. Doing your taxes will be easy. They'll have an automated system to do your taxes because they'll just go in and look up your wallet address on the blockchain. They just punch your wallet address number into the blockchain, and all your yearly transactions come in. And they can see how much money you spent all year long, and they can also see how much people paid you, the incoming transactions into your wallet address. And then they can just do your taxes up from there. They know how much you made. You see? And this is the plan. This is the plan right now to do this. But they're not going to let you know this is the plan because they want to spread the Bitcoin. They want to spread the Bitcoin far and wide. They want a full adoption. They want everybody to use the son of a gun, thinking that it's going to give you anonymity and everything else and make you free, when in fact one simple turn of the screw of just registering everybody and registering them a wallet address is all the government needs to do to make this thing their own. So that they own it then. Then they own it. They own the Bitcoin. Just one simple turn of the screw. And believe me, all they have to do, they don't have to ban the Bitcoin. All these guys running around there saying, okay, they can't ban Bitcoin. They're arguing back and forth. They're saying, oh, they can ban Bitcoin. And one guy says, no, they can't. They'd have to destroy the internet first to ban Bitcoin. No, which is true. They can't stop Bitcoin at this point. But with one simple turn of the screw, they can make it theirs so that they want it. But they were the creators of it, and they had this in mind the whole time when they first created the sucker. They knew that they were going to use it as a method to control. I mean, back when everybody had cash, back when there was no Bitcoin at all, back in the day when we didn't have any automated money either, back before the banks had all your money digitized, and before the banks were all talking to each other over the internet. Back before the days of the internet, there was one bank over here and one bank over here across town, and one bank didn't know what the other bank was doing. You could hold money in one bank and the other bank wouldn't know. Back in those days, an awful lot of people did tax evasion all through the United States. How much taxes were lost in tax evasion because of cash was unbelievable, because there's a huge black market in cash. People used to pay in cash and no taxes. I mean, I grew up in the 70s. When I first started working and stuff, I know how much work was done under the table, and they just passed the guy some cash and he'd stick it in his pocket. And there was no tax on it. I remember, I grew up in Orlando, Florida, and there's car dealerships and stuff, and just constant cash transactions taking place. Oh, they hate it. This is a new scheme where there will be no escaping anymore. No more. They want rid of cash. They want rid of cash, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. They can make an extra 30% a year in tax revenue by getting rid of cash and bringing in Bitcoin. Nobody will take cash anymore. In fact, there won't be any cash out there. They'll give you a period of time to trade your cash in for Bitcoin. And I'm going to tell you what. This is what I can see. This is what's coming. Lynette Zhang, she opened my eyes to it. This is it. They are going to gold and silver. They are going to suppress the price until the last day when they cannot suppress it anymore. But they're already promoting Bitcoin. They don't want Bitcoin to die. The only ones that want Bitcoin to die is the PBOC. The PBOC is the only central bank. And that's because they're not working with the central banks of the West. They're at war with one another. The PBOC, the reason why they want Bitcoin to go down, and why they don't like Bitcoin, and why they're at war with Bitcoin is because they know that this is the Western central bank's baby. And they want to kill it. They'd like to kill it. And this is part of their warfare against the West, the East. And the PBOC, the reason why they want to kill Bitcoin is Bitcoin is modeled after gold. Bitcoin was modeled after gold. Litecoin was modeled after silver. And I'm going to tell you what. I believe, personally, I believe that those are your two luxury coins. Those are the two to own. Right there. Because they were the original gold and silver. And you're going to see them move hand in hand, tandem, up and up and up endlessly. And the third one to own is Bitcoin Cash. Because Bitcoin Cash is going to be the side of Bitcoin that handles the surplus transactions. Those are the three. Ethereum is not it. It's not the one to really. If you want to make money, Ethereum is not your baby to actually own. Ethereum isn't. If you really want to make money, go for Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, and Litecoin. Those are the three. Those are going to be the three big winners. I don't really altogether think. There's a few other good coins, good rock solid coins out there, but those are the three that those are the originals. Bitcoin Cash is a division off of the original. It is it's running on the same. It's a side chain of Bitcoin. It is actually it is Bitcoin, but it's going to handle some of the heat from Bitcoin. In other words, transactions and stuff. I think that you're going to see all three of those coins go up massively. I think that in the end it's going to work out about the same relationship, gold to silver on your Litecoin. And so I think Litecoin's fantastic, really. I think it's like regular silver. It's fantastic. But here's where she opened my eyes, Lynette Zhang. I can see that over the next maybe until the whole system collapses and they can't control the price of gold and silver anymore, during that interim time leading up to that, you're going to see your Bitcoin and your continue on their merry way going up, because I think that the government is facilitating support. The deep state government is facilitating support to these cryptocurrencies. Behind the scenes, they're facilitating support. The People's Bank of China wants to destroy it, but they can't destroy it anymore. It's too big. Last time they tried to destroy it, they had more of an effect than this time. This time they only punched it down a little bit. You know, they cooled it off a little bit. That's all they did. I mean, they might not be over yet. I think their next big move will be to attack the Bitcoin mining network, because an awful lot of the mining is done in China. But all that's going to do, I mean, I got to keep my eye on that, because I'll tell you, all of us miners over here in the West, we'll break out our mining gear in a snap if the China decides to haul those miners offline. If they decide to go into those big mining outfits and over there in China and turn the electricity off to them, the Chinese state, because they're very, the Chinese government's very organized and they're very strong in ways like that. If they tell the people to do something, they mean business, you know. And so if they go in there and they shut off all the mining gear over there arbitrarily, there will be a huge drop in the mining network. And heaven forbid that actually stop any Bitcoin transaction. Might make the transactions kind of slow for a little while. But you know, the slack, as soon as the miners over here in the West see that difficulty drop way the hell down, they're all going to hop on. And it'll go back up again. And so they can't kill Bitcoin that way. If they're thinking that they can kill it that way. And that's the last move that China's got to try to kill it. So anyway, I hope you found this interesting. The 2 points of view. Oh, I never got into Jeff Berwick's point of view. His point of view, and digging into that a little bit, is I don't think that he's really right about Satoshi Nakamoto being all on our side to want to bring us freedom from the central banks and all this stuff. I don't think Satoshi Nakamoto is real. I think that the deep state commissioned a whole group of scientific geniuses to work on this as a project. And I don't think there ever really was a Satoshi Nakamoto. I think that he's as real as Santa Claus. And I think it's been the deep state's plan all along. I think that the reason why was back in the infancy, when the deep state could see China hoarding gold, and they knew. They just watched how things were developing. They said to themselves, hey, you know, China's going to haul all our gold east. And we're not going to be able to stop them because of the system that we've generated. We need to keep selling them the gold and letting them have the gold, or we're going to go down early. They said, what are we going to do? And this was part of their scheme. This is why Bitcoin simulates gold and Litecoin simulates silver. I think part of their scheme was that they were going to create digital gold for us over here in the West. You know? So we'll have the digital gold, and we'll buy their, we'll go and we'll buy their gold back when the time comes. You know, this was probably their plan. And we'll, what we'll do is we'll run this computer here on the Bitcoin. We'll pre-mine it. We'll mine a million Bitcoins. You know, and then we'll wait until the Bitcoin price goes to $1 million each. You know, and then we'll buy some of our precious gold back from the Chinese with the Bitcoins, because China won't have any. And so they like it when the PBOC clamps down on Bitcoin and tries to stop it, because that means China ain't going to have so many Bitcoins. And so Americans will have them all, and we'll be able to buy more of the gold back. And the price will be higher. These are schemes that they think of, you know, but also the control that they can get from this whole thing, too. Because they designed it so that it would be the ultimate control mechanism. The currency of the New World Order, you know? Totally by design. I mean, absolutely, Bitcoin is absolute genius. There's never been any invention that parallel it. It's a bigger invention than the light bulb. It's absolute genius. And I can't see one man coming up with that either. It just seems to me that a group would have, and even then they'd all have to be geniuses. You know, like if you're talking about musical geniuses, like the Beatles were musical geniuses. You know, they, even when they separated and went their individual ways, like you know, like Harrison and McCartney and stuff, each one of them made good music on their own. But when they came together as a group, they were fantastic. They're musical geniuses. And that's what come together to make these cryptocurrencies, was a group of computer scientists that were absolute geniuses. There can't be anything else but. This is what the way I see it, you know. In my mind, I can just see that this is a group effort by a bunch of computer geniuses, and they created something that is going to revolutionize all transactions worldwide, but not just transactions. It's going to revolutionize everything. Bitterin, I think that's his name, Bitterin, the guy that invented Ethereum, he's a bit of a genius himself too, you know. And Ethereum enables you to have other things on the blockchain, not just currency. You know, you can have contracts, smart contracts, and everything else. So this is wonderful. We should actually embrace this technology. And the thing is we should be aware when the government comes and tries to take this and make it their own. Because they have to have a certain point where they have to enter the picture, and they have to force you into assigning a wallet address and so on. And that point, it's up to us, we the people, to say, hell no, we're going to keep this anonymous like it is now. Because if we keep it like it is now, it provides freedom for the people. Just like Jeff Berwick says, it would make us free if it's kept like it is now. They have to modify it and make these changes, and they have to do it with our permission. And they're going to come to us, and they're going to say, hey, you know, we want to do this. Is it okay? Because it'll stop internet crime, it'll stop organized crime, it'll stop drug use, it'll stop money laundering, and blah blah blah. And it's going to be these stupid people out there who buy into that bullshit, simply put. And so it's going to be up to you when the time comes, and you'll see them coming a mile away, and they'll want this. If we resist it, then we'll have a free world. In fact, I would go so far as to say that this is the fork in the road for humanity. Is in the future, when the government decides to take control over the blockchain technology. If we allow it, we will go into a tyrannical kind of a world we're under complete government control, and where they suppress us, and they basically, do you remember the movie Soylent Green? We will go into a Soylent Green world. It's up to us if we allow them to do it. If we allow the government to take control over Bitcoin technology or over the blockchain technology. And if we block it and we say, no, we're not going for that. We're not going to vote yes for that. We're going to keep it the way it is. We don't care. We don't care if the drug users are using it. They used to use cash, and we didn't care for drug transactions. We don't care if they're using it for money laundering. They used to use cash for money laundering, and that didn't mean we wanted to get rid of all our cash. If we say we don't care, you're not doing that. Then we'll go into a free, utopic type of world. We'll progress into the future in a good way. And it's going to come up to us. I think that's going to be our pivotal point. is what decision if they're able to slide this in. If they're able to slide in the home plate with this. And believe me, they're going to try. So listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. And we will catch you in the next video. Bye.